Hello there, a very good evening and welcome to Primetime News on TV1. We're coming to you live and direct from the Newsfirst studios here in Colombo. With the presidential elections just a few months away, political parties have begun campaigning for the elections. Yesterday, the Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna presented their candidate for the presidential elections, and today a massive rally was held in Badulla to welcome Deputy Leader of the United National Party, Sajith Premadasa. We've got the details of these stories and more lined up for you on our news tonight. But first, a look at your headlines. Sajith Premadasa warmly welcomed in Badulla. Sajith promises a revolutionary change. People's request from the Prime Minister. JVP presidential candidate to be officially announced on the 18th. Protests closed down busy Hong Kong airport. Starting off with a look at your top story tonight, a special rally was held in Badulla today to welcome the Deputy Leader of the United National Party, Minister Sajith Premadasa.
The rally was held at the Wales Park ground in Badulla. This is how Deputy Leader of the United National Party, Minister Sajith Premadasa, was welcomed by the people.
එතුමන්ට තවමත් මේ ක්‍රීඩාංගණයට ප්‍රවිෂ්ඨ වන ප්‍රධාන දොරටුවෙන් ප්‍රධාන පීඨිකාව වෙත පැමිණෙන්නට ඉඩකඩ ලැබෙන්නේ නැහැ. ඒ තරමටම ජනතාව දිනේ උදාවන තුරු මේ රටේ ජනතාව චේතරම් අපේක්ෂාවෙන් සිටියාද කියන කාරණාව මේ ලැබෙන ඔල්වරසන් හඬ තුලින් හැකියාව කිරීමේ අපේක්ෂාව ඉස්සත සෙවණක් අවශ්‍ය ජනතාවට හිතට සෙවණක් ලබා දෙමින් ගතට නිවනක් නිර්මාණය කරන්නට ඔහුට හැකියාව ලැබුණා. දිවංගත ජනාධිපති රණසිංහ ප්‍රේමදාස මැතිතුමන් අවසන් නොකළ නොනිමි මෙහෙවර ලංකා ධරණී තලය මත අඛණ්ඩව ඉදිරියට රැගෙන යන්නට ලංකා ධරණී තලය වෙනවා යොදවානයි.
The rally began after blessings were invoked by religious leaders.
අභිමානවත් මිනිස් පවුරක් මේ මහා පොළවේ අන්තැනක සිටියාද කියා. මේ සටන් ඇවිලුණු බිම මේ සටන් විජයග්‍රහණය කළ.
එක දෙයක් අපි කියන්නට ඕන, ත්‍රස්තවාදයට අපේ රටේ ඉඩක් නැහැ.
I must say one thing. There is no room in our country for terrorism. We do not have a place for terrorism in our country. We will not just prevent acts of terrorism. I would like to state with courage that we will completely destroy terrorism. From the bottom of our hearts, we protect the sovereignty of our country and the political freedom in our country. We will not allow any of our enemies to separate, segregate, or influence our country in any way. Under our rule, we will not sign any political agreements, security agreements, or trade agreements that are detrimental to the country or the people of this country. I would like to tell the people of this country, do not label politics that looks into the issues of the people who are suffering and helps them as the politics of a beggar. Anyone who says that is wrong. We are being given power not to enjoy luxuries. The people give us a mandate not to crown ourselves. The people of our country gives us their strength to help the people who are suffering in this country. Some people brand these acts of helping the people of this country and providing concessions to them as the politics of a beggar. But my friends, when the government powers are being used to distribute funds among the people, it is wrong. However, when government powers are used to distribute funds among their family, it is right. And that is not branded as the beggar's politics. I would like to take this opportunity to state that we will build a country sensitive to the pulse of the people. A country that solves the problems of the people. A country that the common man hopes for. A country that the people hope for. A country that will strengthen and provide concessions to everyone. And a country that is united. I am not a double-tongued politician. Until I live, I will value the word I give you over my very life. I will do anything for the people of this country. And remember, the politicians of this country must fasten their belts before they can ask the general public to fasten their belts. I would like to tell you that I will not ask the people of this country to tighten their belts while loosening my belt. I do not engage in double-tongued politics like that. I would like to tell you that just like my father sacrificed his life on the streets of Sri Lanka for the people of this country, I am not afraid. It is because I am not afraid that I got onto this stage from the shoulders of the people present here today. Because of that, I would like to tell you that I am not afraid. I am not a coward. I have the power and I am ready to die for the people of this country even at this very moment. I am 52 years old and I am not afraid to die. I am always among the people. I would like to state that just like my father, I will go where I must through the people of this country.
යන්න ඕන තැනට යන්න කියන එකත් මන් තමුන්නාන්සලට කියන්න කැමතියි.
දෙකයි මමත් දෙකයි අපිත් දෙකයි රටත් දෙකයි UNP ගේම ගහනවා අයියෝ ගනි රටම ගනි UNP රජ වෙනවාලු අපේ රටේ දියුණුව අපේ අතේ තියෙන්නේ ලෝකෙ පුරාණ
දැන් අපි රැල්ලට බය නැහැ.
We are not afraid of the wave. We will create a wave from Uva with Sajid. Nothing that began from Badulla has ever gone wrong. There is a leader who is in the hearts of every citizen of this country. Remember this well. Sajid Premadasa has come here with 30 years of political experience. Also, we have a candidate who can continue to engage in politics for another 30 years. We are sure of it. Honorable parents, one reason I was sad yesterday was because they showed the ancestral home of one family at a party convention yesterday. The elder brother brought the younger brother and the younger brother welcomed the elder brother, and it was all about these three brothers. Although we had a few shortcomings, we know who our best bet is.
කවුද අපේ බුලට් එක? අරුන්න! හරි සජිත් ප්‍රේමදාස කියන බුලට් එක අරන්න.
We do not have any other candidate besides Sajid Premadasa. We will announce Sajid Premadasa as the presidential candidate and we will turn Goldface Green upside down. We do not show our families or our ancestral homes and show off our brothers and go home. I promise you that I will even sacrifice my life to see Sajid Premadasa become the president of this country.
ජනපති කරනවා කියන එක ඔබතුමාට පොරොන්දු වෙනවා.
Now, UNP Deputy Leader Sajid Premadasa, before attending the rally in Badulla, attended an event together with Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe in Homagama earlier today.
The middle-income housing complex built as part of the Samata 7 program in Jaltara Ranala was vested with the public today. This complex, comprising of 352 homes, has been built at a cost of 1,905 million rupees. He has found out about the shortage of housing in the country. It is with this shortage in mind that he is going to the villages to build model villages. He opens one village in the morning and another in the evening. Due to his efforts, many in countless places today have a house they can call their own. From there, he has come to the middle class here in the urban areas. Even though he faced many problems, he overcame them. According to what I heard, he has been in Wattukotte in Jaffna, Chavakacheri, and will now even go to Havalia. He goes around the country and fill the people with hope. So that I commend and congratulate him. Yesterday I saw that at the Pohottuars convention, the opposition leader was appointed as the party's leader. His brother was appointed as the candidate.
මේකට මම කියන්නේ කොබෙයියගේ දේශපාලනය. කිරෙන් බැද්දේ තෙලෙන් බැද්ද එක්කෙනයි කිරෙන් බැද්ද එක්කෙනයි දෙන්නම ඉතින් මේ වෙන එකක් නෙමෙයි මේක තමයි කොබෙයියාගේ දේශපාලනය.
I began to think of their candidate statement as well. In it, he says he will ensure that anyone born in this country will have an opportunity to live in the country without any fear or suspicion. Why do you laugh?
සහතික වෙනවා. ඒක තමයි අපි දෙන්නගේ එක.
That is what I will give. If we are to have a society free of fear, will they apologize for Eknaligoda? Will they apologize for Lasantha Wickramatunga? About Ravi Raj and Shivaram? About Tajuddin and Keednoya? Will they apologize for Upali Tennakoon? Will they apologize for vandalizing the Udayan offices and killing journalists? Will they apologize for the attack on the Cirrus office? Will they apologize for Ratu Paswala? For Valikada? For the white vans, for Shirani Bandaranayaka? Will they apologize for the Pradeshia Sabha chairman raping a woman and for chasing away the slum dwellers in Colombo? I would like to ask them these things.
අන්න ඒවයි මම අහන්න කැමතියි.
Minister Sajith Premadasa also expressed his views at this event.
On this historic occasion, I can make you all a promise and state that Ranasinghe Premadasa promised that by the year 2000, everyone will have a home. If you, in November, give us the confidence and the ultimate power of the people, I swear upon the name of Ranasinghe Premadasa that by 2025, I will fulfill that promise.
සැමට සෙවන ලබා දෙනවාමයි කියන එක මම මේ අවස්ථාවේ ප්‍රකාශ කරන්න කැමතියි.
Chairman of the United National Party, Kabir Hashim, says that all is set to select the UNP presidential candidate democratically and present him before the general public. According to a notice issued by the minister, this will be done soon with the agreement within the party.
Minister Kabir Hashim says the act of Mahinda Rajapaksa forming the SLPP and appointing himself as the leader of the party while representing the UPFA is a clear violation of the constitution. The minister says that it is uncertain that a person like that will secure the rule of law in the country. Furthermore, the minister says the act of appointing Gotabaya Rajapaksa, a US citizen who is accused of many wrongdoing in courts as the presidential candidate of his new party, is going against the law of the country and bewildering the people of the country. He highlights the fact that the UNP will announce a candidate who is democratic, who will love his country, and someone who is not accused before the people or the courts. According to the minister, the UNP candidate will be an educated person who will abide by all laws and someone who will respect all the citizens, who will accept all races and religions, someone who can ensure the safety of the nation, someone who can lead the future generations to a new world, and someone who will understand the sorrow of the poor people.
We now cross over to a short commercial break. We'll join you with more news on the other side. Welcome back to the news. The Youth for Democracy organization staged a demonstration opposite the Elections Commission demanding for franchise for the youth that are 18 years of age.
The demonstrators point out that although according to the constitution, any citizen who is of 18 years of age, according to the current system, citizens cannot enter the electoral list until they are 19 years of age. The Youth for Democracy organization requested for this procedure to be made more efficient. The Elections Commission took steps to speak with the demonstrators and inquire into their issues.
අපි කතා කරන කලින් ඕගොල්ලන්ගේ ප්‍රශ්නේ අපිට ඉදිරිපත් කරොත්.
මේකෝසී අපිට 18යි අපේ ඡන්දයි කියපෝ කියලා තමයි මේ ඇවිල්ලා ඉන්න ඡන්දන්නියෝ ඉල්ලන්නේ.
මගේ කිසිම අවුලක් නැහැ.
I have no problem if you call me a grandfather, because I have a 5-month-old granddaughter. But that said, I am happy that someone who is 35 years old addressed me as an 18-year-old. There is nothing I can provide. Now there is only the chairman of the Elections Commission. Your requests will be fulfilled by the Commission only. We were hoping to use the 2019 electoral list for this presidential election, but we cannot use that because we are unable to certify the 2018 electoral list. Amending the electoral list begins in May and June. Thereby, we can only certify the electoral list by the 31st of October. Therefore, we cannot use the 2019 electoral list until the 31st of October. We can only use the 2018 electoral list. So what you say is true. Only the people who are 19 years and 6 months old will be eligible to vote in this presidential election. However, there is an act formed by the Elections Commission in 2012 for this, the Electoral List Amendment Act. If that is accepted in Parliament, then we will be able to let 18-year-olds vote in the presidential election. You should not try to tackle this with the Elections Commission, but with the political parties who represent the Parliament.
පාර්ලිමේන්තුව නියෝජනය කරන දේශපාලන පක්ෂවල නීති අනුව
It is the provincial council elections which should be held according to the law. We are ready for that. We have to wait till at least the 3rd week of September to get ready for the presidential election. Till then, we cannot say we are solely preparing for the presidential election. We too had preparations for the presidential election since the 9th of January, because the president has the ability to hold the elections early. We are always ready for the general election, because the parliament has the ability to dissolve independently and hold the general election. But with the belief that it would not come into light, we already prepared the necessary documents for a presidential election and necessary documents for the 2 types of provincial council elections to be held.
සීම දෙවිදියටම තියන්න ඕන කඩදාසිත් හදලා තියෙනවා.
ඒ වගේම අපි ඊයේ විපක්ෂ නායක මහින්ද රාජපක්ෂ මහත්මයා ශ්‍රී ලංකා පොදුජන පෙරමුණේ නායකත්වය ලබා ගන්නවා. එතකොට එතුමන් පාර්ලිමේන්තුවට තීරපත් කරලා තියෙන එක්සත් ජනතා නිදහස් සන්ධානය. එතකොට එතුමන්ගේ පාර්ලිමේන්තු ධූරයේ අවෝසි වීමක් සිද්ධ වෙනවද?
ඒක අපට අදාළ නැහැනේ.
That is not our concern. That is a matter of the political parties they belong to. When we are informed of that, we will inform the parliament about that. The internal conflicts within political parties will not be dealt with at the Elections Commission.
සවල දින අභ්‍යන්තර විනය ගැටලු මැතිවරණ කමිෂන් සභාව මෙදියත් වෙන එකක් නෙවෙයි.
The Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna convened a media briefing in Colombo today.
ශ්‍රී ලංකා නිදහස් පක්ෂයේ මහ
MPs who were elected through the SLFP have already held discussions with us. We are hoping to come into some agreement between the 2 parties. We believe that an agreement will be reached through the discussions held between President Maithripala Sirisena and Mahinda Rajapaksa. In the end, unless 1 or 2 decide to support the UNP, the rest of them will stand together with the SLPP and will work towards making Gotabaya Rajapaksa president.
රාජපක්ෂ මෙරටේ ජනාධිපති කරන්න වැඩ කරනවා. අර යුද රහස් වගේ පොඩ්ඩක් පස්සේ කියන්න තියාගන්න.
ඕදෙනා සඳහන් කරන්නේ කොයි පැත්තටවත් ශ්‍රී ලංකා නිදහස් පක්ෂයේ සහයෝගයක් නැතුව දිනන්න බැහැ කියලා.
සමහරු හිතන් ඉන්නවා
Certain people believe that there is 1.4 million stores in bags at the SLFP office on Dali Road. They think that we will be taking that 1.4 million rupees when we go to the Sirikota office. That's not going to happen. If we go, the only thing that we will be taking with us is a lamp post.
ලක්ෂ 1000ට ට්‍රැක්ටර් එක දාගෙන තමයි සිරිකොත යන්නේ කියලා. එහෙම නෑ. ගියොත් යන්නේ ওই රයිට් කණුවක් විතරයි.
ගෝඨාභය ජනාධිපති නම් මහින්ද අගමැති නම් මෛත්‍රීපාල සිරිසේන මහතා වෙනුවෙන් ඔබතුමාලා නිර්මාණය කරන තනතුර මොකක්ද?
මහින්ද රාජපක්ෂ ජනාධිපති.
That will be discussed between President Maithripala Sirisena and Mahinda Rajapaksa.
තුමන් දෙපළට බාර දීලා තිනවා ඒ ගැන සාකච්ඡා කරන්න.
බැඳුම් කර වංචාව සම්බන්ධයෙන් ඔබතුමාලාගේ ආණ්ඩුව පිටේවොත් මොන වගේ නීතිමය ක්‍රියාමාර්ග දෙනන්නේ?
කොරයි පොලිසිය එක ගෙදර ඉඳගෙන කවදා හොරු අල්ලන්න බෑනේ.
The thief and the police who reside in the same house would never be brought to justice. Therefore, when our government comes into power, we will open an investigation to probe into how the bond scam happened and who is responsible.
උදව් කරලා තින්නේ ඒ ගැන සම්බන්ධයෙන් පැහැදිලි ලෙස පරීක්ෂණයක් ආරම්භ.
The Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna and its affiliated parties continuously objected to the AXA, SOFA and Millennium Challenge cooperation agreements. MP Udaya Gammanpilla is one person who was highly critical of these agreements.
Parties affiliated to the Sri Lanka Podujana Perumuna even filed petitions at the Supreme Court stating that the signing of these agreements are a violation of the Constitution.
Sri Lanka, America.
This is an important factor in the project to betray Sri Lanka to the Americans and make this country a colony of America. You already know that the government has agreed to surrender lands from Colombo to Tinkermilly to America to build an economic corridor. The Millennium Challenge Cooperation Agreement was drawn up for this. The petition states that every clause of this agreement is in contravention of the Constitution. Sri Lanka is now the 52nd state of America. An 83-page AXA agreement has been signed. The SOFA agreement sent by America states that a letter sent in reply would amount to an agreement between the two countries. If the Secretary has already sent a letter in response, then we have already signed the SOFA agreement.
These are the views expressed today by Udaya Gammanpilla, who was highly critical about these American agreements.
We cannot speak of emotional and beautiful lies and deceive the people. A bilateral agreement cannot be suspended unilaterally. The National Movement for Social Justice convened a media briefing in Colombo today.
We cannot allow this country to once again be a burial ground. Former President Mahinda Rajapaksa needs to take responsibility for this. If you study his facial expressions yesterday, you would understand what he did was wrong and whether he did it out of his own free will. All this can be understood by reading the pictures. As an artist, I can read the pictures very well. I feel as if Mahinda Rajapaksa is threatened. It's almost as if someone is holding a pistol at his head and holding him hostage. I felt that the 2005 Mahinda Rajapaksa, who was defined as the people-friendly person, was missing yesterday. Thereby, we can see if there is some other party operating behind this. Therefore, we must be very vigilant and careful.
The Janata Vimukti Peramuna convened a media briefing at their party head office in Battaramulla today.
The country is crying out for a new alternative force. This program has been published with the blessings of the Mahasangha and the Cardinal. It has a number of criteria. It has a clear limitation on candidates with lawsuits against them and also those who currently have cases heard against them. Today, the country wants someone who can adhere by these requirements. Today, the alternative force the people expect is the Janata Vimukti Peramuna, and together with civil society groups, we are building a national people's force. The alternative candidate will be presented before the people at the rally to be held at the Golface Green on the 18th of this month. There is nobody here who meets those criteria. Gotabaya Rajapaksa is the weakest candidate the Rajapaksa camp could have put forth. It is not a new thing that he will not be able to change this country. The candidate will be presented by the National People's Force. He is a political activist. Having someone who is not politically active take over a country is completely unsuitable.
These are the views expressed by the convener of the National People's Council, Chamera Pereira, during a media briefing held yesterday.
What can the country expect from the Rajapaksa family? They left the Meethotamulla garbage dump. They chased away the poor and those in villages and sold their lands to multinational companies. That is Mahinda Rajapaksa's track record. The people have not been reborn. They sold the defense headquarters to Shangri-La and moved the headquarters to headquarters where they gave the contract to a close aide. There is a case about this now. They gave the protection of the seas to a close aide, the owner of the Avant-Garde Group, the American citizen who went and signed agreements that opened Sri Lanka to Americans based on agreements signed in 2010. These are the people who want to be president.
We'll be back with more news after this short commercial break.
I will one day build the best vehicle in the world and bring glory to my country.
Empowering the dreams of the next generation.
Main sponsor
Lanka Kiri Edat Adat Hetat Hondamade Pamanai.
Welcome back to the news. A new police station in Pupurasa, Gampola was declared open today. Governor of the Central Province, Kirti Tendakon, Minister Lakshman Kiriyalla and former Prime Minister D.M. Jayaratne attended the event. Governor of the Central Province, Kirti Tendakon and Minister Lakshman Kiriyalla addressed the public at the event. However, former Prime Minister D.M. Jayaratne was not given an opportunity to speak before the public, and this was met with much displeasure by the former Prime Minister at the end of the event. This village only had 12 houses. I've been in politics for 72 years. It is because of me that all these people are in a stable condition. All these people were estate workers. I have to remind you that I gave you this land for my courage and my strength. I do not wish to contest any elections. Nowadays people will do anything for the election. They deceive the people to get the votes. Anyone can vote for anyone according to their heart and conscience. When Minister Lakshman Kiriyalla came to Kandy, I am the one who got him a membership of the committee. Everything shouldn't be about politics. We need a stable livelihood. Today people kill each other because of politics. I am not a man who only verbally engages in politics. No one votes while being out in the open. Therefore let anyone say anything, but do not listen to what they say. Listen with a smile. Listen while cheering, but vote for the correct person when you are voting. He is the father of our village. He built this village, but he did not speak. We can't think as to why.
He was the one who gave us properties. An opportunity should have been given to speak to a good citizen like him. It's not a good thing.
Thereafter, the former Prime Minister left the premises. Muslims in Sri Lanka celebrate the festival of Eid al-Adha today. Eid al-Adha, also known as the Hajj festival, is one of the two festivals of Islam and is celebrated by all Muslims on the 10th day of Dhul Hijjah. The Muslim festival marks the conclusion of the important worship of Hajj or pilgrimage of Mecca. Religious observances were conducted at mosques across the island today.
The Hajj festival aims to create equality and brotherhood. Eid al-Adha festival takes place on the 10th day of the final month of the Islamic lunar calendar, Dhul Hajj, which is the 12th and the most sacred month of the Islamic year, during which observant Muslims travel to holy city of Mecca for Hajj. Religious observances were held at the Grand Mosque in Colombo this morning. The religious celebrations were held by MSM Taslim Maulavi. Islam devotees who gathered at the golf is engaged in religious activities as well. President Maithripala Sirisena, issuing his Hajj message, said that the festival of Islamic devotees coming from all over the world to worship God in a spirit of coexistence and harmony results in the discipline to live in equality with believers of other religions. Meanwhile, Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe in his Hajj message says the main objective of the Hajj festival is to bridge the gap in society and to create equality and brotherhood. In his greetings on the eve of Eid al-Adha, Azad Zali, the leader of the National Unity Alliance and former governor of the Western Province, said that we all should pray in this day to ensure lasting peace in the country and to safeguard the rights of the Muslims.
Today marks International Youth Day as decreed by the United Nations. This year's theme, Transforming Education, highlights efforts to make education more relevant, equitable and inclusive for all youth.
There are currently 1.8 billion young people between the ages of 10 and 24 in the world. This is the largest youth population ever. In Sri Lanka alone, the youth population reaches 4.4 million or 23% of the total population.
International Youth Day is 20 years old. This year, Tuesday highlights the theme of transforming education to make it more inclusive, accessible and relevant to today's world. We are facing a learning crisis. Too often, schools are not equipping young people with the skills they need to navigate the technological revolution. Students need not just to learn, but to learn how to learn. Education today should combine knowledge, life skills and critical thinking. It should include information on sustainability and climate change. It should advance gender equality, human rights and the culture of peace.
Let's now take a look at some international news in brief.
The death toll from Typhoon Lakima in China has increased to 44, with several others still missing. Officials say that 5 million people in Zhejiang province have been affected, with over 1 million evacuated to safer places. 5 young children died in a house fire in Ivory, Pennsylvania. The residence was also a daycare provider, which reported that 4 of the 5 children were staying there while their parents worked overnight. Hong Kong International Airport has cancelled all departures as anti-government protests in its main terminal continue for a 4th day. Thousands are gathered at the airport, which is one of the world's busiest international hubs. The winner of Guatemala's presidential election, Alejandro Giammattei, said he hoped he would make changes to a controversial immigration deal that the Central American country signed with the Trump administration last month.
And that's a wrap of primetime news on TV1 for tonight. But we leave you tonight with some of the views expressed by the media secretary of the Tamil National Alliance, parliamentarian M.A. Sumantiran, while he was speaking at an event held in Batiklo, organized by the Tamil National Alliance. Good night and take care.
What did the ITAC do in 1976 by calling it the Federal Party? I do not wish to say that it was wrong. If I do say so, the media here will publish that Sumandiran said that asking for a separate country was wrong. This will be aired on Shakti TV this afternoon. I will not make such a statement. What right or qualification does parliamentarian M.S. Sumandiran hold and possess to make such a statement about a media network that is engaging in ensuring the people's right to know? Newsfirst will not back down to expose any fault or wrongdoing of any person devoid of the position they hold. How many cases have we filed? How many have we won? How much land has been released back to the people? How many personnel have been released? No media institution acknowledges that these things happen through our efforts. What are they saying? They say that we are leaning on to the government. That has become the task of the media at present. This will be the part that will be aired today. They will say I reprimanded the media. There is one particular channel that says this. There is an allegation that we are protecting the government. If that was not done, who will be in power today? Even though the TNA MP makes such statements regarding the media, the people who continue to protest in the north and the east for various demands will be able to divulge and articulate very clearly as to what the parliamentarian has done for the people. The people have not forgotten that it was the president as the defense minister who released the majority of the land in the north and the east. The people also remember the recent hunger strikes by political prisoners demanding that they be released. Since the TNA wants to protect India-friendly Ranil, they voted in favour at the no-confidence motion that was brought against him for the allegations regarding the multi-billion rupee bond scam. They went to court to protect Ranil. However, they did not go to court regarding the problems of the Tamil people, to release the land or to release the political prisoners. They have also voted in favour of all the budgets put forward by this government. They did this in order to protect this government. Our people have not received any benefits.
இந்த நன்மையும் இல்லாமல்